When I was younger, when I would come for the first time to play with musicians or to play with an orchestra, and I could see in their faces before we started to play, who's this little girl? Why do we have to play with this? I am Alma Deutscher. I'm a composer, I'm a violinist, pianist and conductor. I'm backstage at the moment in Hong Kong, and I'm going to have a general rehearsal in a few minutes. I'm just preparing. I've got my scores here, and in the evening I'm performing. I'm with the Hong Kong City Orchestra, my violin concerto and my piano concerto, and I'm also conducting my Waltz of the Sirens. I'm really excited about that. Before the performance, I'll put my hands in warm water so that my arms and my hands are warmed up and ready to go. Yeah, and I'm going to take my violin out in a moment so that I can warm up on the violin. I started playing the piano when I was 2, and the violin I got as a birthday present for my 3rd birthday. Everyone thought it was just going to be a toy and I'm going to give up after a few months, but I loved it so much and I kept trying to play, so finally people thought, okay, well, we should get to a teacher. I've performed in China before, yes. I've performed in Shenzhen, Nanjing and Beijing. I loved it so much. In Beijing I also got the traditional Chinese dress that I performed in, the Changzam. I find them so elegant and so beautiful and so classy. I think very well for conducting work, so I thought, yeah, the Changzam is the perfect choice for me. Sometimes in Europe, I would, men would accuse me, or old men, would accuse me of trying to be too beautiful. And so I thought I would, almost make a bit of a joke in that I take the ugly sounds of the world and then, but still make them beautiful through music. So I turned it on its head. I tried to take the sounds of the traffic, the beeping of the cars and the sirens and just the ugly sounds of the modern world, and then gradually transform them into beautiful sounds through music. So to combine the modern and the traditional.
They go lava, 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 lava. And when I heard the siren, I was immediately struck by it, and I started to think how I could turn it into a melody.
One big goal of mine is to bring classical music to a broader audience. So it's not just that the musician comes in, bows, plays, and then goes out, but that there's much more of an interaction. I want to bring music to people who would never grow up in the classical music world and maybe never listen to it. And with this Waltz of the Sirens, it takes the sounds of the traffic and turns them into beauty. I was so happy because it was watched by millions of young people on social media, and in so many of their comments they said that they would normally never listen to classical music, but that now, after listening to the Waltz, now they're really interested and they want to.